guys, it's your girl Bree back with another video. I like my little light. Gotta put 5 below. This is my office. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of other lights, not like this. They have different ones. I'm gonna put up here or whatever, but y'all can see by the title, we're gonna be talking about what you need to know before moving to Houston or pretty much any other large state or city that's outside of your hometown. So if y'all don't know already, I come from a real small hometown. I don't know why I'm saying a small hometown. I come from a small town. I lived in the city of Buffalo, New York. Go Bills, we going to the Super Bowl. Hopefully that ages well. Hopefully that ages well. But yeah, I come from Buffalo. It's Western New York or upstate New York, whatever y'all want to call it. So the difference between coming from somewhere small and moving somewhere like Houston is like, no joke, tremendously different. The first thing that you do need to know before moving to Houston, specifically Houston, is the traffic. Let's just get straight to the traffic. It's bad. That's the best way I can put it. Back at home, our expressways was really like 3 lanes. You got the left, the right, the middle. Houston, you got 5 or 6 lanes, and I'm not exaggerating this. And that's on one side. That's with all the traffic going one way. That's 5, 6 lanes. Like, I cannot exaggerate this. Then on the other side, you know, the traffic going the other way. That's another 5, 6 lanes. So we're talking like 12 lanes across. Like, I cannot make this up. So before you move out here, maybe you should like already have your license and practice driving, because when you come out here, you think back at home, I don't take the expressway. Shit, your ass to be taking 2 hours to get to wherever you gotta go if it's not around the corner from your house. So that's one thing that you do need to be aware about is traffic. The second thing I will say that you need to know before moving to Houston, figure out your job, figure out your career. Once you figure out, no, let's backtrack. Let's talk about figure out where you're going to stay. You need to figure out the different areas in Houston, because Houston is so big. So you need to figure out where you're gonna stay, because if you, oh, this apartment nice, but you really not looking around the surroundings, you can either be somewhere where you surrounded by lots of stores like I am. It's like I can walk right now and it's just, you can get your taxes done, you can get your nails done, your hair done, you can stop at Walmart, you can get gas, you can go to Panda Express, you can go to Whataburger, you can get your car fixed, you can get like, it's just mad shit all in one area. You can either have you a place like that, or you can be living somewhere where you literally have to drive 20 minutes further in town to get to stores. So definitely do your research on where you're going to be staying at. I'll also say that goes to say as well, that will also affect the weather. So you need to know exactly what part of Houston you're staying in, or Texas period. Just, you need to know, because in certain areas it may get hit harder with like hurricane season than it will another area. So just do a lot of research. I can't really tell y'all shit because I didn't do my research. I'm just being real. My friend moved out here. This is where she moved to. So I said, girl, I'll come with you. I don't even care where we stay. But it actually lucked up to be a really decent area, so I'm happy. Do your research. Now going back to, what was I saying? I said, hold on. Okay, I said, what did I say? Oh, about your job. So once you find where you're gonna live, please make sure you find you a job that's close to your house, and also take into accountability the traffic, because my first job that I worked out here was literally only 25 minutes away. Not bad, right? With traffic, it was an hour, over an hour, like an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, that part. So when you do find where you're gonna stay, make sure you find a job that's close to you, that's convenient for you, because Traffic out here, like I cannot stress this enough. It's really bad, and there's always car accidents. I'm trying to tell you, like, there's always car accidents. So traffic is so bad that it's different types of traffic, and you're gonna know exactly which one, because you'll get on the highway, and if you can't get on the highway and it's a line before you get on the highway, you be like, oh shit, it must have been an accident, swear to God. But now if it's regular traffic, like, okay, we getting on the highway and there's traffic, and it's traffic, and it's not really like moving, like not going that fast, either it was a car accident or some shit blocked off, like, I swear to God. Or if it's traffic and it's moving, but it's a lot of, okay, we're not gonna go all the time, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, you just gonna know that either the ramp was closed, or it was a car accident, or if it's like an event downtown. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Hopefully y'all listen. I'll take my advice. Okay, so we went over researching where you're gonna live. We ain't talking about the word. We talked about the traffic, and we talked about where your job is. So we basically talked about location and traffic. The next thing you need to know before moving to Houston is the weather. So right now it is December, so it has cooled down a lot. Now, that myth about it not getting cold in Houston, that's a motherfucking lie. Let's just put it like that. That's a lie. It gets cold as hell down here. Like a week ago, literally like a week ago, it was like 30 degrees. Now I'm from Buffalo, so a 30-degree day is just like an average day in Buffalo in the wintertime. It's cold, you know, and it's usually snowing. But 30 degrees out here, when just the other fucking day it was 98, you feel that difference, and it's cold. Like, I turned on my heat. My heat is gonna rain out, and it's not that bad outside, but just because I'm like, the rain, when it rains, it pours out here, so you definitely need to know that, because that rain does cause floods. So this goes back to you knowing where you're gonna move to. If you live in an area where it floods really, really bad, you're gonna want flooders insurance for your car and for your place. I really hope y'all listen to me, because I wish somebody would have told me this. Luckily, see, I got the universe on my back, so I went on a blind eye and I kind of lucked up. But if I didn't get blessed with this, I would have been screwed. Like, and I probably would have been pissed about it. Going into the weather furthermore, there are hurricane seasons. I guess right now we're in a hurricane season, but it's not really bad. They said it's going pretty good so far this year. But in the past there have been really, really bad hurricanes. You definitely do need to know about that. Also, the last thing with the weather is that it does get really hot out here. They said their winter season really starts January, so they were saying it's kind of odd for it to already be in the 30s out here like it was last week. They said that's unusual, but they said that their cold usually starts like January, February, and it's like that probably till like March-ish, April, and then it starts to get really, really, really uncomfortably hot. So that's really it for the weather. The next thing you need to know before moving to Houston, the bugs. I'm already not a fan of bugs. The insects, even a ladybug. I love ladybugs, they're beautiful. I put it on my finger, but if it start get the wings come out and it just start doing too much, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna yell, I'm gonna jump. I'm just being completely honest. Same thing with butterflies, they're so beautiful. I love butterflies, but they get a little bit too close, they get a little weird looking. Dead ass. So the bugs, y'all, they got these big buckaroo ass dragonflies out here. Them dragonflies is out here like mosquitoes. I cannot make it up. Right now, since the weather's cooler, they haven't been out, but I know when it get warm again, like it was when I first moved out here, them motherfuckers gonna be back. They gonna make that return. Those dragonflies are so big and they're everywhere. The roaches, the roaches, the roaches, the roaches. Y'all, it's roaches everywhere. Be prepared to when you move in your place, you may see a roach or two. Now where I stay, we have pest control. They come out every week, so it's not that bad. I actually haven't seen a roach in here in a few weeks, so that's a good thing. But you will see roaches. I keep my place clean, so I never really had like a big issue with the roaches, but there are other people that live here and they have roaches really bad, but them people are also kind of nasty. They live, you got food everywhere, like, okay, so it's roaches. You'll see roaches everywhere you go, at your job, outside, like you're gonna see a roach. Buzzards, y'all, they have buzzards. A buzzard is a freaking voucher. A carnivore. They eat meat. They eat the dead animals. Y'all, I kid y'all not. I'm gonna try and find a clip on my phone and put it in here. There was a dead dog in the middle of the road, and there was this big black bird just picking at it, tearing it up off that bone. And I'm like, I've never seen a buzzard in person. I think I've seen it maybe on a Lion King or on TV. But to see it in person, it's like, oh my God, what is that? And it's so big. It's so big. And I feel like the camera don't even do no justice to show how big it really is. And it's so black. It's so dark, so black. It's just like, ooh, it creeps me out. They do have that here. They have snakes. I have literally walked in the house and I seen a snake in my grass. But it was dead. He was dead though. But there are snakes out here. I'm trying to think. It's something else. It's something else that's out here, and it's just a lot of it. They do got a lot of mosquitoes and gnats out here too. It's crazy. That's all I can think of right now off the top of my head is the damn roaches, the dragonflies, the buzzards, the gnats. Did I say roaches? The roaches. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. Something else that you do need to know before coming out here is so many scammers. There are so many scammers out here. I kid you not. Like, be careful. It's scammers everywhere you go, but Houston is a lot of scams, and especially if you're on like those group pages on Facebook, which I want to get to that too. Like, I mean, scamming with doing, people talking about they do hair, they hairstylists, they don't even do hair. They just collect your deposit money. You get what I'm saying? And you never hear from them again. Lash services, just any type, like, just be careful, do your research. Make sure they have an Instagram. 9 times out of 10, if they got an Instagram, you'll know for sure if it's a legit business or not. Usually all legit businesses, including me, we have an Instagram. It's like a profile of a history of all your stuff. It's like a portfolio, so make sure you check them out on Instagram. It's a lot of scammers out here. Another thing I want to say, since it's like right here, is it's a lot of crime out here. Coming from a small city to moving to such a huge state and city, because Houston is a city of Texas, the crime rate is higher out here by default because it's so many more people out here. So you definitely need to know that. Like for example, the latest thing that just happened, a little girl in Texas, I'm not sure what part, she got kidnapped by a FedEx driver and was murdered. You don't hear about no shit like that in Buffalo. You do not hear about shit like that. And that shit is so terrible, and I'm just like, oh, this is why I don't even like to watch the news, because it messes up my energy. Like, I really feel for them, like, and it hurts my heart. Be careful, like, seriously, be careful out here. You do need to know you can carry a gun out here, and it is okay. You can get your gun. I'm trying to think of how they gotta do it. You just have to have a Texas ID. And there's a stand your ground rule, so you could just go anywhere and get you a gun as long as you got a Texas. I just got my Texas ID on Friday, baby. So, you know, mess with me if you want to, because I got my ID, and that blocker is gonna be ready for anybody that want to try and do some harm to me. So definitely do need to know that. That is something that is good to know, that you need your Texas ID in order to carry a gun. And that's all you need, is the Texas ID. So you just take your ass to the DMV. Make sure you have your birth certificate, the original copy, not the, you know, the one you, like a paper copy, not paper copy, but you know how you put it on a copier and you make a copy of that original document? No, they're not taking that. Make sure you have your birth certificate. You have to have proof of address that you live out here. So yeah, just make sure y'all have all y'all stuff. Go to DMV, get your license, get your little protection, because you're gonna need it out here. Especially depending on what area you live, but just Houston, honestly, anywhere period, you need to be protected. But out here, you seriously need to be protected. This is actually Houston, where my baby Takeoff was in Houston the day he lost his life. So seriously, be careful out here. Another thing I did want to say, hold on, let me think of it. What was we talking about? It was something else stemming off of something else. Okay, I'll just touch on this because it just popped in my head too. This is kind of stemming back to where you are looking for jobs. What you need to know before moving to Houston is that you need to try to find a job before you get out here. Unless you got a job already that you working, like you a nurse, you a doctor, you like, you know, some stuff like that, your ass need to find you a job. You need to literally apply to jobs before you get out here. And you also need to make sure you have some money saved for when you get out here. Like, seriously. And I say that because I don't know what it is, but it's so hard to get hired at a job out here. My man said it, I said it, and both my friends that moved down here said it. One of them, she went back home, but y'all, like, I don't know what it is. Back at home in Buffalo, baby, the same day I applied to a job on Indeed, they calling me the same day. I put that on everything. They calling me the same day. You know, I'm getting calls throughout the week. Here, I applied to 50-some jobs. I don't get a call from not one of them. Like, definitely make sure you, like the first job that I worked at out here, I applied back at home. And the first day, like literally as soon as we pulled up to the apartment complex, I got a call, and it was them calling me for an interview, and during that call they told me I got the job. So I'm like, oh wow, that worked out perfectly. They're like, oh, could you start next week? So that worked out real smooth for me. But if you decide you want to wait till you get out here to find a job, make sure you come with you some money saved. I'll tell you that right now. Make sure you come with you some money saved. It was something else that I did want to touch on, and it was just right there that I was on. Oh, baby! The minimum wage. Before you come to Houston, make sure you know that their minimum wage is like $7 or $8 or $9. So yeah. So all the lower paying jobs, oh, they'll call you. Now they'll blow your ass up. But if I just came from New York State and I just was making $18 an hour doing the same thing that you're trying to hire me for $11, you must have lost your motherfucking mind. And $11 isn't even the minimum wage. It's so many jobs out here that's only paying like $8, and they dead ass. And me and my homegirls, it's upset. Me and my homegirls, we looking like, she like, Brie, they dead serious. I said, bitch, no, they really dead serious. Like, I said, So when I tell y'all to look for a job while you're still at home, I mean that. Like, it'll help you so much, because no. And a lot of these places, you just tell them your situation, tell them your move-in date. You know, they'll give you a phone interview over the phone, or they'll do like a Zoom. You really just might still get hired over the phone like how I did. I'm just saying. So, and when they called me the day I got out here, they didn't know anything. That was their first time talking to me. So I got hired over the phone, and I'm like, you know, I literally just got here. I just got here. So y'all better do your research. Let me think, what else do we need to talk about that's important that y'all actually really do need to know? That myth about it being cheaper to live out here, I don't think that's true. I feel like rent is high as hell. Rent is still the same, for real. Rent really ain't, I don't know what they talking about. Gas is definitely lower. We at $2.60 right now, so gas is definitely way cheaper. When I left home, gas was $5. Gas was $4.99. Gas was literally $5, so the gas is for sure cheaper. I also believe they don't have like sales tax out here, or state tax. One of them they don't have out here, so when you get paid, your checks will be just a little bit more because they don't take out that extra tax. I want to say it's state tax, so that's good to know as well. What else? This is why I should have wrote it down on paper, but it was something else I was saying earlier that I did want to tell y'all that was stemming from that I felt like y'all should know too. I can't think of it. Well, let's talk about some good stuff, because there is a lot of good things that you do need to know before coming out here, which is you gonna have a good ass motherfucking time. Your ass might miss home a little bit like how I did, but you gonna have you a good ass time. I would tell you that. There is so much to do in Houston. Like, there is so much to do in Houston, and again, I cannot stress this enough. I come from Buffalo. It's a really small town. Everybody knows everything. What you need to know before coming out here to Houston is that everybody that you meet out here, 9 times out of 10, is not from here. They're from somewhere completely different. There are a lot of people who were born and raised here, but it's like half and half. That's why it always be so much goddamn traffic, because so many motherfucking people want to motherfucking move on down to Houston, and I'm one of them people. I am people. But that's besides the point, and that's my motherfucking business. But there's so much to do out here. There's literally so much to do, from the bars, the club, the food, the clothes, the people, the attractions. Like, there's so much to do out here. I absolutely love that about Houston. I also love how everything is close together. Like how I said earlier, you could do your taxes, get your car done, get your hair done, your makeup done, your feet done. You could you looking for funeral cert, like I sort of like it's just strips full of shit. Like, I cannot express that enough. I also love that about Houston. Yeah, I honestly think that's really it of like the real important things that y'all need to know. If I think of something else, oh, how could I forget? The electric. Do your research on the electric companies too. Well, at least where I stay, we have to pay for electric. My electric was high, but it wasn't like real high, because one of my friends' electric was like $500. Mine was like $150, which is still a lot compared to back at home electric. My mom, I never paid, you know, this is my first apartment, so I never paid electric before, but they like, that's a lot. Like, electric like $40, $50, $60. Shit, that's even if they even pay for electric out there, because a lot of them they pay for gas, they didn't pay for electric. So shit, electric is high, so make sure you find you a real good electric company. There are a lot of electric companies that offer like deals, like at nighttime. They have it to where electric is free at night. So say if you at work all day and you the type of person who come home at night, you then wouldn't be paying shit for electric, because you ain't never home during the day. You come home at night and it's free at night. They got electric companies where sometimes electric is free over the summer or holidays or weekends. So definitely do your research on that, because I would hate for y'all to come out here and be all, everything's all shits and giggles, and then the bills start coming in and you like, Houston, no. I guess I could say this. Another thing is that it's a lot of stray animals out here, so you're definitely bound to see a lot of like dogs and cats. I recently went to the SPCA Houston because I had a dog that I couldn't keep, and I was trying to find her a new home. And they actually told me that Houston is one of the most overpopulated with stray cats and dogs. So if you try to turn it, you know, I don't know what just happened. My camera just stopped. That was weird. Like I was saying, so if you try to turn into an animal to one of these rescue shelters, and they can't accept it because they're already really full. So that's another thing to know. Y'all, please go and try and help these animals out. Give them a home. If you are looking for an animal, when you do come out here, I do want to add this in there. What you do need to know before coming to Houston, especially if you have kids, is that if you have children, for one, definitely invest in a vehicle. You need to have a vehicle coming out here. It's definitely buses and stuff, don't get me wrong, but no, you need a car. If you have kids, just keep in mind, it's not no help out here. So if it's your first time moving and you at home and you got a lot of family that help watch your kid while you do X, Y, and Z, when you come to Houston or you just move anywhere else outside of home where your family resides, it's gonna be tough. There are a lot of daycares out here, but if you the type you wasn't paying for daycare, that's a big adjustment. I'll tell you off rip, because I personally called the daycares myself, and I've personally spoken to people who have kids at my job, and they told me how much. But daycare is starting at like $300-400 a week. You might find you a daycare that might be cheaper, but you know how that go. You pay for what you get, and it's gonna be one of them rinky-dink daycares that's around the corner across the street from a gas station that's rinky-dink as hell. So I will say that they do have nannies out here. They have nannies everywhere, but they have a lot of like nanny, it's a website. I wanna say it's like nanny.com. You can get you a nanny, but it's about the same rate as taking them to daycare, you know. Take your baby to daycare so they can socialize with other children and stuff. You definitely need to know that. So if you have kids, for sure you need to have a vehicle, and for two, you need to figure out now what you're gonna do about a babysitter. Yeah, so that all ties into finding the right location where everything is around you. So that pretty much covers everything that I feel like are really important that you need to know before coming to Houston. The last thing I will say before ending this video is that when you do move away from home, at least personally for me, I was a little bit homesick. I do love Houston, but I just got so used to Buffalo, and I felt like everything that I used to complain about from my hometown, I actually missed a lot when I moved out here. Like I took traffic for granted and just getting places quickly for granted, you know. So that definitely took me a little bit of time to adjust and to get past that, but I did, and I love it out here. I've always loved it out here. It just was like a big adjustment from moving from a small town to a big one. So that is it for this video. If you like the video, please make sure to comment down below. Also, make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel. Baby, we is going up. The New Year's is coming. I got a lot to show y'all. We gonna fuck up. You already know the fucking vibes. All right,